Hi you guys, Jeannie here, and welcome back to my channel. So first off, thank you so much for the support that you had on my video of how I got $20,000 in credit card debt. Like, first of all, I had no idea that I was just like a lot of you that racked up a bunch of credit card debt. A part of me was very embarrassed to share that, but a part of me knew I needed to share it because I know I wasn't the only one. So I'm really happy that that video helped you guys relate to me a little bit better and know that I've made the same mistakes when it comes to credit cards. So I want to go in and chat about how I actually paid off that credit card debt. So I'm going to go into my steps on how I paid everything off. So first thing I did is I eliminated, back when I got into all that credit card debt, I was living on my own. I think my rent on the month was like $1,000 to live in a luxury apartment in South Orange County. So the first thing I did was I eliminated my most expensive expense, which was my rent, and I moved back home with my parents. Yes, that was not the most ideal thing to do at 24 years old, to move back in with mom and dad, but that's what I had to do because I did not want to have this mound of credit card debt hanging over my head. I just didn't want to do it. I was in a committed relationship at the time with Chris, and I just did not want to bring all of that debt into my marriage. So I first started by moving back in with my parents. The next thing I did is I consolidated all of my debts into one payment. So there are different companies you can work with. You can work with your bank. There's definitely different ways that you can consolidate all of your credit card bills into one lump payment. And another good way of doing this is it actually eliminates all the other like interest rates. So when you combine everything, then you just have one interest rate and you end up paying less in the long run. So look into that with your bank. There are also some other companies you can go to, but that was the best thing for me because I just had one payment every single month instead of dozens of payments for all sorts of different credit cards. So something else I did is I paid more than the minimum per month. So a way to get out of that pile of debt was paying more than the minimum payment. And that was able to get me paying off the debt quicker. And it just made me feel better paying more than I was supposed to. Paying all that debt took close to 2 years to pay everything off. This actually merged into after Chris and I got married. So we were still making those payments even when we were married. So my goal was to get those knocked off before we started even considering buying a house and everything like that. So it took about 2 years to pay all of that off, and I am so relieved that it is now gone. So now that all of the credit card debt is paid off from all the different like store cards I had racked up, Chris and I, we have one major household credit card, and this household credit card pays for any expense that we can put on a credit card. So we're talking utilities, health insurance, groceries, gas, if we dine out. We use it all on one bank credit card. And one of the reasons why we do this, one, is we want to continue to build our credit, maintain our credit, because if something happens to Chris, I'm going to need my credit for things in the future. Or if something happens to me, Chris is going to need his credit for things he needs in the future. So don't automatically think like, oh, I don't want to use credit cards because I don't want to get back in trouble. You do need your credit for different things. If you want to rent a car, if you want to get a utility bill in your name, there's so many things that you need your credit for. Also, we earn points with the card that we have for our household related items, and that turns into points, and then we can use our points on our bill. So we basically make money just putting things on a credit card. So that is why we have one major credit card. Those are the two reasons why we have a major household credit card. Now we do have one store card. So we have a Best Buy card. Now the first reason why we took this Best Buy store credit card out is because I wanted to finance a new computer. So at the time I was using a Windows, and for what I do, video purpose, Apple is the best in my opinion when it comes to video editing software and all sorts of stuff. So I really wanted to replace my Mac, and I waited about 2 years to be able to replace my Mac. And we decided to go with Best Buy, and we financed it. So they have a deal where if you sign up with the credit card, you get 12 months of 0 interest. So I've been making the minimum payment every single month and I think next month is my last payment. So I've been making that payment for a year, and my computer is almost paid off, which I am so incredibly excited about. But that is why we have that store card, was one, to finance my my computer without having to pay interest, and two, we have a major, in case we have an emergency with like a major appliance, like a fridge, or I don't know, something else that would go out, or washer. We have a card on reserve that has a no interest in the like rules of the card, if that makes any sense. So if Chris's computer crops out, he can go out and get a new one, and it doesn't like affect our bank, if that makes any sense. So that is why we have one store card for like a major appliance emergency, and we got my computer. So yeah, I don't really know why I need to go into details of why I got a Best Buy credit card, but we do have a Best Buy credit card for those purposes. And the two other store cards that I do have is Justice and the Children's Place, because I have littles. So I signed up for two other store cards because they have really good point systems when it comes to earning points for children's clothes, and they just had a lot of really good perks. So what I do now is, if I know that I'm going to use the Justice store card or the Children's Place store card, I have cash in hand. So I charge it to get the discount and earn the points, and then immediately after, I pay the bill in cash that same day. And Kohl's does the same exact thing. So I love that I can, you know, charge something on the card. It continues to build my credit. I get the discount for the kids' clothes, but then I can pay in cash like 2 minutes later. So that is how I handle store cards like that. So if I don't have the cash in hand to pay for what I'm charging, then I just don't charge it. So that is how I have like changed my thinking when it comes to credit cards. And that's really how you should be utilizing credit cards anyways, is don't charge something you can't, you know, pay cash for unless it's an emergency, because credit cards are meant for an emergency. So buying a Mac for my work purpose wasn't an emergency, but continuing to keep that card open for the 12 months of 0 interest and having it as an emergency, that's for an emergency. If the fridge craps out, or if the washer craps out, or if something else electronic craps out, we got Best Buy in our back pocket and we won't need to struggle. I hope you guys found this video helpful in terms of how I climbed myself out to $20,000 in credit card debt, and how I am entering a different way of thinking when it comes to shopping and credit cards and money and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I will have my video linked below if you haven't seen my first video talking about how I got into credit card debt. And I definitely wanted to put this video out there for you guys to help you guys if you are looking to get out of your credit card debt. So I hope that this video was helpful for you guys. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Leave this video a thumbs up, and maybe share with someone who is also in the same boat of just feeling buried with credit card debt and looking for some help. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.